As an artist who does a lot of travel sketching, I have noticed as this movement has been growing that there seem to be a lot of rules cropping up as to how travel sketching is supposed to go down. And this concerns me. And so I wanted to create a video to start a conversation about this because I really feel that in art, there are no rules. I mean, yes, certain movements have certain characteristics, but it's always the artists that break the rules that end up innovating and pushing a movement forward. And when you place rules on something, I think you really stifle your own sense of play and exploration and creativity, and that's never a good thing. So the way I define travel sketching is really very simple and loose. Basically, you go somewhere. Maybe it's 20 minutes from your house, maybe it's 20 hours on a plane, it doesn't matter. You see something, it engages you, you want to create a little art around it, and you do. And how you do that and where and why you do that and what subject you use, that's your business and no one else's. There shouldn't be any rules. I mean, yes, there's techniques and you use those techniques to bring your vision to fruition, but the rules shouldn't exist. I mean, this should just be something that is unlimited. What you can create art around is unlimited. So I wanted to talk about this in this video, and I'm not bringing this up in order to trigger anyone or create controversy. I'm just saying, let's bring these rules to light. Let's look at them and let them go so we can all just relax and enjoy creating a little art and have some fun. So thanks for joining me. My name's Brett Renee, in case you don't know, and let's jump in. Okay, so here's the first rule I'd like to debunk. You have to sketch either architecture, urban scenes with people, or food. Now, I like all those things, and I've done tons of sketches like that. I've done lots of architecture, I've done scenes with people, and occasionally I've done some food. I mean, all those things are great, but they're not the only thing. Like, you can sketch anything. Nothing should be off limits. It's kind of like saying, okay, well, if you go to Rome, you have to sketch the Colosseum. If you go to Paris, you have to sketch the Eiffel Tower. Now, there's nothing wrong with either of those things. I mean, you may get to Rome, get in front of the Colosseum, and just think, wow, this is amazing. I just love those crumbling windows. I have to sketch this. And so great, sketch it. But you also might get in front of it and think, yeah, it's amazing, but 2,000 other people have sketched this and I don't really have anything new to say about it. But you look across the piazza and maybe you see some guy selling ice cream. And he's got this cute little truck, and on it says gelati and delicioso, and that just warms your heart and you just get really charmed by it and you want to sketch that. Or maybe you look down and there's like this little flower, this bright red flower growing up out of the stones, and that just really gets you and you just want to sketch that. Or maybe you've been walking all day and your feet are just killing you and you take your shoe off and your foot is just covered in blisters and you sketch that. I mean, I guarantee if you sketch things like that, when you get home and look through your travel journal, you're going to have a lot more interesting memories than just if you had just sketched the conventional things. So that's the first rule that I want to throw out. I think nothing should be off limits. Rule number 2, you have to complete your sketch on site. Now, I have actually seen this rule written down in the description of several urban sketching groups, and I just think, wow, that is so not practical. I mean, maybe you'll have time to sit down and complete a whole sketch where you are, but most of the time when you're traveling, you don't, especially if you're on a really busy itinerary with other people. You're going to be fitting it into the cracks. I mean, I've talked about this in other videos. You know, you're going to be sketching in the lobby for 20 minutes while you're waiting for people or on a bus going somewhere. You're not going to have time to finish a whole sketch probably. And, you know, if you're on the bus sketching, I doubt you're sketching the bus. You're probably working for a photograph. And I don't think there's anything wrong with starting something and then taking photographs and finishing it from photographs. I don't think there's anything wrong with leaving your kit at the hotel and just taking photographs all day and making art about that later. Like, there's no rules here. And I think instead of worrying about where you did the sketch, let the work speak for itself. And you worry about the process and how you got there. I mean, I know a lot of really successful artists that don't like to paint in plein air. They want to work in the studio. So sometimes they're going to be working from photographs, and that's okay. All of this should be allowed. So I think we just need to throw this rule right out and just say, however you want to get there, it's all good. Rule number 3, pencils and erasers are big no-nos. Okay, pencils and erasers are just tools. They're just tools. They're just one way that you can draw. I don't think there's anything wrong with using a pencil. I don't think there's anything wrong with erasing. I don't think there's anything wrong with ink. I don't think one is more right than the other. I know there's artists that sketch in pencil and then they paint. And I also know there's artists that just use ink. Like I heard Ian Fennelly talking on a video. He's a wonderful travel sketcher. I really love his stuff. He said, I only use ink because otherwise I'm not committed. I just don't have as much fun. Okay. But not everybody feels like that, and not everybody is at his level of sketching. That requires a lot more skill. If you're a beginner, you might still be dealing with things like perspective and proportion. And so to do ink might feel a little intimidating because you might still be kind of working that out and then it's not going well and then you don't feel good about it. Whereas if you use a pencil, you can really work that out and you can still erase it and you can fix it and you can go do this a few times and you're going to learn from that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing your sketch first in pencil and then going over it in ink. We're all at different stages and it's fun to experiment with different techniques and different ways of doing things. And again, let the work speak for itself. So I think it's time we stop demonizing pencils and erasers and just say, just do whatever you want, just have fun and sketch. Number 4, you shouldn't sketch somewhere you haven't been. Okay. I know I said that my definition of travel sketching was that you go somewhere, you see something you want to sketch, and you sketch it. But that doesn't mean you can't go somewhere as an armchair traveler. And unfortunately, sometimes this is the only option open to us. Like, for instance, let's say you wanted to go on a trip to Italy, but maybe right now you just can't get the time off work, or you just don't have the funds. I mean, unfortunately, these things happen. But maybe you really do want to get to Italy one day and you're kind of obsessed with it and you're reading about Italy and you're looking at photographs of Italy and you want to sketch some of these photographs. Okay, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. In fact, you may sketch these photographs. It may help you manifest a trip to Italy. I don't know. I think what this one needs more than just saying don't do it is to say, just clarify. Like if you showed those sketches of Italy to someone, you're not going to say, yeah, that's from my trip to Italy. When you haven't been to Italy, you're just going to say, yeah, I'm making sketches of Italy. I want to go there one day. And making those sketches, you're going to learn about Italy. And I think you're going to learn about the colors and the shapes. And when you get there, you're going to handle the subject matter much more deftly than if you hadn't done them. So there's value there. I don't think there's anything that should be off limits. I think that's the whole point of this video. And I hope having seen this, it's going to give you permission to go ahead and just sketch and do whatever you want and just let everything be allowed. So thank you for watching. I intended this video as a conversation, so if you want to leave a comment about this, that would be awesome. And please like or subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.